Hey everybody, so we're in the garage with another project today because, as all of you know, if you have a significant other, there are endless amounts of projects to make your home beautiful, and it is fun to do them and make your wife happy. So today we're going to make some Hexagon shelves, which I thought was going to be a little bit complicated, but it turns out to be pretty easy. So we started off by going to Home Depot and getting 1x4 39-inch slats that they sell pre-made in the lumber section to fit on, I think, like a twin bed. And what we're gonna do is cut those down into 6 individual pieces with 30-degree bevels on each end to create a hexagon shelf. So stay tuned and I'll kind of explain how this process works. So the first step is you bring your piece of slat over to your miter saw or circular saw, but a miter saw does make it a little bit easier. And you set your angle on the miter to be 30 degrees if you have a tall enough miter saw that you can cut the board vertically. And what you're going to want to do is determine the length of your board divided by 6 to give you the length of your cuts for each piece. And what I determined is that each board can be 6 1/4 inches. So I put a stop block here so that we don't have to measure each cut and we can just get repeated cuts. So we put the tape measure here and bring down the saw blade. It ends up at 6 1/4 as you finish through the cut there. So once you set your distance, you can set your stop block so that you can make repeated cuts. So our first cut is just setting the bevel here on the edge. So you want it as tight as you can to the corner. And then we're gonna run this cut. And then you're going to want your cuts to alternate so that you get a proper hexagon. So with your initial cut facing away from you, you slide it into your stop block, and we're going to cut at this angle now. So the first angle was here and the next angle is here. So you just run it into your stop block until it stops, keep it flush against the back plate. Second cut. So you can see that both of these are alternating angles. The nice thing is once you've made that cut off of your last piece, it sets you up for the next one. So you've made your cut like this, you just lay your piece down, flip it up the other way, and slide it into your stop block for your second cut. And you just continue this process until you've made 6 cuts that create your honeycomb hexagon shape. The next step is to just sand the burrs off of each piece so that you have smooth grain, because if you're using a not so fine saw blade like I am, you will get a little bit of tear out on the back side of your cut. So you just do a little bit of sanding. We're using 180 grit sandpaper, and we're using battery powered orbital sander, but the piece was just a little bit too small for us to do that safely. So now that you have all your pieces up, you're going to want to lay them with the inside down so that your bevel angles are opposing one another, and this will help you line it up so that you can glue it up more simply. So once they're laid down like this, you're going to want to go ahead and tape along the back side, and just be careful so that your joints all stay the same and flush with one another. Once you get to the end, you can just rip it, and then you're gonna want to run another piece right here just so it's stable, as you'll see in a second. And then you're gonna go ahead and flip it over. and then roll it up from each side. And as you can see, that gives you your honeycomb shape. And this is just to check your joints, but if you go ahead and let it down on the other side, when it comes to gluing, you're gonna apply your glue in each joint with your wood glue, and then roll it up just like you saw, and then go ahead and tape the ends together, and then you can apply brad nails, but we'll show you guys how that's done. Something we decided to do once we have them all laid out for glue is putting down some parchment paper, type paper, so we don't make as much of a mess. And then we're taking some big painter's tape to put a tag end on the end of the roll. So once we fold it up with glue on it, we can temporarily tape it together so that we're not fighting it while we're trying to get the glue drips soaked up and everything. So that's something we're just doing real quick, and it'll make it a little bit easier once we put glue into each of the angle cuts. And then we got Duke joining us. Hi, Duke. He likes when we work in the garage because he gets to lay on the cold floor. So we'll show you what the glue up looks like. So now we're gonna glue each joint. And we will have excess glue spill out. So we have our paper towels ready. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it up. You can see the glue already coming out. Make sure it meets here at the top. And apply your tape. And kind of push it together from all sides. And we're gonna go ahead and apply our brad nails. So I have this set to about 70 pounds of pressure. Just kind of roll it and keep going. So now we'll wipe away the excess glue. From each joint. Once you have all of your nails in, you can go ahead and pull off your tape because it's no longer serving a purpose. And we nailed right through our tape because the tape was in the way and it went in just fine. But we will go ahead and get some wood filler to fill in the nail holes because the stain won't cover it as well as you might think. But this is the Hexagon, the honeycomb shape shelf that we were going for. So some of these honeycomb shelves come with a divider shelf in the middle. It sits in there just like that. And I wanted to show you guys how I came up with that measurement. You just take your tape measure, run it from edge to edge. And this angle right here is pretty close to 1 inch, so I lined up the 1 inch line with it. And then over here on the other side, if you'll zoom in there, is at 11 5/8 of an inch. So we're gonna go ahead and measure that out over here. Which will be 10 5/8 because we're measuring the inside of that shape. Go ahead and put your 10 5/8 mark. shy along, so that'll probably be a little bit tight. And actually, it's just about perfect. So that goes in nice and easy. And you got your shelf. So what we're doing now is applying some wood filler, some natural wood filler, into all of the brad nail holes so that we can stain over it without there being any gaps. So you just go around and put in some of the filler into the side and then smooth it in to the hole just like this. You want to leave a little bit above so that you can sand it smooth. And you just do that in each of the little holes. And then the next step will be to stain. So we're gonna tediously go through each hole, and then we'll show you the next step. So for the final step, we're going to be applying some spray lacquer, and you're just going to take nice even sprays across the piece, making sure that you hit all sides and locations. So you change your angle, flip the piece to make sure that you're hitting every part of it.